Okay, so a couple notes on the assignment that goes with the filters exercise. So we went over in the previous video, how to use them, turning things into, let me see here, smart layers or right-click smart objects rather, and so that we can turn off certain effects. Oh, it's a little bit slow. There we go. And only keep them on where we need them. But one of the things that this mentions is save as one PSD with 3 layers. That should say 3 groups of layers if you do something like this. But we've talked about this before, keeping organized within one file. I haven't actually required it on anything yet, and I'm going to start to now. Because it's kind of silly to have 3 different PSD files when you just have 3 different versions of the same image. And so one of the things we can do is use folders, which are basically just groups of layers. And I can just call this like version 1. And if I click on a layer and drag it over the folder, it puts that thing in the folder. Now, it reversed their order. I have to put them back in the right order. So all those rules of layers still apply, where whichever one is on top is the one that displays on top, and then the next one underneath in terms of like this right here, this layer mask. If this one is underneath this one, well, this layer mask is 100% opaque, so you're not going to see the other one underneath. So we do need to make sure that we're keeping them in the same order, but then we can twirl this up like this, right? So we can, excuse me, keep version 1 in here, and then if I save this file, which I should have already, shame on me, so if I call this mountains PSD, right? I can then bring in a clean version of this image because that image exists as a JPEG. Actually, we're going to open recent. So open recent, this is the name of the JPEG as from Flickr. And because because you can't save all that stuff in a JPEG anyways, the JPEG remains intact. Whenever you're working with really anything, you should be keeping original versions of your photos, whether they're your photos, other photos you found online. You should be keeping like clean versions of them to bring back if you need to. So I can just grab this, drag it over here, and there we go. So now I have another one, and I can make a folder that says, double click, that's not how you spell version 2. And I stick this layer in this folder, and now everything I do will be in that folder, and I can try something different, whatever it is that I try that's different. Just real quick, sure, we can work with this. Whoa, I should mention it's pulling the color from here, so if you have a different color in here, the effect will work differently. Oh, I forgot to make it a there we go. Whenever we bring the new one in, we do have to convert it to a smart object. There we go. Oh, this one doesn't base it on that, so this one's always just going to be that dark color. Some of them base it on the color palettes, some of them don't. But then I can go from here, and whatever look I'm going for, I can try and get that with this set of things instead of this set of things. And so if we want to look at them, then we can turn this one off and we get the old one. We turn this one on and we'll see only the new one. And so you can keep things organized in different layers, and this is great for first of all, for if you've got a client or you're working in production and you need to show multiple things really quickly. These will all be lined up, A, B, A, B. If you are having multiple tabs open at the same time, they might be, as you're storing them, they might be different sizes, and so you're coming back and forth between here, and it's also very clunky, and you're also asking your client to sit with you while you're like looking through all these things, and that can get kind of old. The other thing is that when you hand them in to me, it means I get one file, and it's a little bit easier for me to download them through Blackboard, which is one reason I'm asking for them. The other is I want you to get used to multiple layers, because when we get to our final, there's going to be a lot of layers. There's going to be a lot of stuff you're going to have to do to make that work. So this idea that you can keep each file like real simple, just 2 layers, that is not going to fly in real life or in this class. So best to get used to it now that you can't do that. So for this assignment, I want you to have all of the examples in one file. One single file. Yes, it'll make it a little bit bigger, but not too much bigger. And then that way handing it it'll be easier, but also you'll get used to managing something that looks more like this.